Hello, welcome to Three Mates and a Podcast. A podcast that involves three people, or mates if you will, who discuss things, debate about stuff sometimes, and just chat about whatever. My name is Kaz and I run that podcast as the show's host, with the other two being my friend Jake.
Hiya.
And my boyfriend Albert.
Hello there.
And, from time to time guest stars as well, such as our other friends and stuff. We don't use our voices online, apart from Jake, so all our voices are edited by me, using a text-to-speech software that is linked below alongside the other credits and junk. Now, with that out of the way, how's about we jump into the podcast?
Alright. Episode 2. Let's go.
I'm only here because I was told there'd be free pizza and 7-Up.
You can have the rest of my 7-Up.
But I saw you spend that.
Episode 2 and we've already crashed.
Nah, that happened last episode.
No, we actually managed to get over 10 views, so at least we got that going for us.
Hey, that's pretty good. 10 people saw us. Out of like, the a zillion people that exist.
Well, some of them could have been watching with a friend, but on the same account, so I count that as a win.
Pretty sad win if you ask me.
No one's asking you. Now, can we move on with the podcast?
Yes, we can. But first, I'd like to give a special thanks to today's sponsor.
Alright then, go ahead.
Well, I'd like to. But unfortunately we don't have one.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the only 10 views thing.
Well, in my defense, it's a new podcast, I don't have that many subs, YouTube's algorithm is broken, and no one even likes podcasts anymore nowadays.
So, who do we want to talk about today? Anyone in particular? Anything specific you guys want to talk about?
Well, we could settle the age-old question.
Which one?
Which animated web series on YouTube is the best?
Woo. This is going to rile some people up.
Let's start with the obvious one. The one that pops into almost everybody's minds when you say the words, animated series.
Yeah. And what's that?
Edgeworld.
Okay, I'm just gonna share my personal thoughts here. I really like Edgeworld, and I think it's one of the best out there in terms of animated web series on YouTube, but personally, it's not my favorite. Now, don't get me wrong. I really like it and enjoy watching it. But it's not my favorite. Second favorite, yes. But not favorite.
I already know this I think, but go on then. What's your favorite?
Roommates.
Ah yes. I'm 13 years old. Let me just use a mouse while in the backseat of a moving car and create an utter masterpiece. That's pretty much how that happened.
Did he really animate while in a car?
Yeah, for the original pilot episode.
Remember the landlord's voice in that? Or am I thinking of something else?
I think I know what you're talking about. But we are getting sidetracked now. This is about animated web series in general. Not just Roommates.
Yeah. But that's the one I also quite like most. In my opinion, anyway.
What other ones do you guys like? 'Cause I like quite a few of them, but I wanna know how many you guys actually know about and like.
Oh. There's this one that I actually liked back in I think 2016, but I can't quite remember. And the only reason I remember it even just ever so slightly, is because it was similar to Edgeworld. Well, the name anyways.
Alright, so tell us the name.
It was called Sammy's World, and I found out about it through DeviantArt one day, because while looking at other art, this one popped up in the recommended section of other art it thought I might like, and I clicked it because Sammy's World sounded like Edgeworld but Sammy. I don't remember what the art was exactly, but it was some orange-haired guy in I think a green hat and shirt next to someone in a blue shirt. I also remember a few years ago, being reminded of it, and thought to myself, why don't I look it up and see if there was anything new? But when I looked it up I could hardly find anything and all I managed to find pretty much was the one episode that I originally watched around when I first found out about it.
Oh my god. Sammy's World. Dude. No way.
A while back, I actually wanted to make my own series like Ed's World or Sammy's World, but have it as my name world or like my OC world or something, but back then I didn't draw art or anything, so I never did. I should do that now sometime.
Hey man. If you ever need any voice actors for that, or like, art for it, I'm your guy.
Well, how about we just focus on the podcast first?
Agreed. So what's next?
What do you mean, next? We still never answered the age-old question on which is the best series.
Cyrus High by Flo Joe. Moving on.
You didn't even.
What he said.
Guys, we have time to discuss or talk about one more thing this episode. What do you all want to do now?
I have a suggestion. Why don't we talk about the fact that our podcast only exists on your YouTube channel and nowhere else? That's probably why it doesn't have many views. I mean, I could post these to my Audio Mac account if you want. I recently hit 10,000 total listens on my account, so that might help.
Well, that's great and all. But I think we'll just stick to being on YouTube. I'm sure our podcast will pick up, eventually. I mean, someone has to be interested in it, right?
Talk about something that's really popular, then we'll get the views. Like Skibidi Toilet or Mr. Beast or something.
I'm not making my podcast sink to lower levels by talking about garbage, just to get views. I'd rather stick with the 10 we had last episode.
Oh. You were going to piss someone off by saying that.
Good. 'Cause they deserve it. And, well, that seems like a good place to leave this episode off at. Everyone, say goodbye.
See you.
Adios.